Hi, I'm Adam Kaszas for the Cheshire Land Trust. Today I'm going to give you a quick overview of the Brooke Preserve property on Sperry Road in the south end of Cheshire. In 1913, Charles Frederick Tucker Brooke, a Yale professor originally from West Virginia, settled on Sperry Road with his family and began to buy additional acreage along Cook Hill and Sperry Road. The rolling hills reminded him of his pastoral home back in West Virginia. George Blackburn, Charles's grandson, fondly recalls his summers here and remembers being taught the importance of preserving the land the family loved so much. George's mother, Elizabeth Brooke Carpenter, gifted 35 of the family's holdings to the Cheshire Land Trust in her will. In the family spirit of conservation, George and his sister Tucker made portions of their land available for purchase to the CLT. In following years, neighbors donated a 4-acre adjoining parcel, the Colstead Woods, and in 2018, the remaining Brooke Carpenter land was sold to the Cheshire Land Trust. Now that you know about the history, it's equally as important to know the Greenbelt spans almost 50 acres. This is not only important for low-impact recreation like hiking and bird watching, but for wildlife and for the protection of the Mill River and watershed. I'm standing here in the parking lot in front of the kiosk, which was an Eagle Scout project. To start out, you've got two options. Go up the steep trail that we've named the Stairway to Heaven, or take the easier wraparound trail. Both lead to the main loop, so you can't go wrong. Once you're up on the main Blaze Blue Trail loop, which wraps around the perimeter of the ridge, you can either head north in the direction of the small ravine, or south in the direction of the Colstead property. In all, it's a 1-mile loop, and there's a cart path that cuts right through the middle of it. Brooke Preserve is a second-growth mixed hardwood forest, and there's lots of tree variety. You got my favorite, black birch, but you also have beech, tulip poplar, several species of oak and maple, among others. Ash was a dominant tree here at one point, but most if not all of the trees have been killed by the emerald ash borer. Behind me are piles of saplings that have been thinned as part of a healthy forest management plan. Now these piles are used for wildlife, offering cover for songbirds, small mammals, amphibians, and even bees. Underneath me right now, underneath all this soil, is a sandstone rich in feldspar called New Haven Arkose. On top of this bedrock is both glacial till and glacial outwash. The till is unsorted sediment that comes directly from the glaciers that move through this area. The outwash is sorted material that was deposited by glacial meltwaters. Overall, the trails on the main loop are softly padded and quite popular with runners and walkers alike. Depending on the season, you can find ephemerals like bloodroot and liverwort in the spring, an abundance of mushrooms in late summer, and a variety of ferns throughout the year. Down at the ravine on the north side of the property, you can find some really interesting plants if you go down to explore. Over here's the northern spice bush. Its leaves smell a little bit spicy, a little bit like turpentine, and the caterpillar of the spice bush swallowtail butterfly feeds on the leaves of this shrub. If you'd like a small detour from the main Blue Trail, take a turn onto the logging path that cuts through the center of the forest. The ruts on the sides of the trail are remnants from horse-drawn carts and in later years, logging trucks. Logging was done by the property owners to maintain a healthy forest. The last logging was probably done around the 1990s. Staying on the main trail and heading east, we're passing the Colstead Woods, which are right behind me. This is a particularly welcoming part of the trail, with bluebird houses and frequent butterfly visitors. And in the winter when the trees are bare, it's a great spot to look over to Prospect Ridge, Cheshire's Western Highlands. That brings us to the end of our visit to the Brooke Preserve. We invite you to come and enjoy this great Cheshire Land Trust open space property. To show your support for conservation, become a Cheshire Land Trust member today. Scan the QR code on our kiosk or visit cheshirelandtrust.org to donate. Thanks for joining me. I'm Adam Kaszas, and I'll see you next time.